So.
Well, hello everyone. I see a lot of moderators in the room. We're going to wait till a few people check in. Tonight we're joined by Shay from Blissful Divination. Please show her some love. My mods, please put her link to her YouTube channel into the chat. Am I still getting an echo?
No, that was us.
All right. Our lovely Adrienne is in need of some healing herself. So before we go in, we want to send her some beautiful light and love of rest. My word to her tonight is healer, heal thyself. She spends so much time sending energy and working as a healer for others, that it's time for her to sit and do some self-care. So we lift up Adrienne tonight. We ask the Archangel Raphael, whose name literally means God's medicine, to sit by her bed and touch her with the beautiful pink healing light. Our collective energy, and the Bible, I think it's in Matthew, when Jesus was asked by a very important man, he said that he had a servant that was unto death. And Jesus said, well, I'll come to your house. He said, you don't have to do that. You can send a word of faith. You can send a word, and that will heal my servant. So we send a word of faith and love and healing, rejuvenation, her joy, her peace, whatever she is in need of tonight, we send it as a word of faith. Because what? Faith is now faith. Today, right now in this moment, is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. So we trust in the unseen. And thank you, Becca, for putting her channel in the chat. Welcome to everyone who's joining us. You could be anywhere, but you decided you would come in and spend some mad time with Johnny from Tarot's Apprentice and our special guest, Blissful Divination. I have to admit at the outset that I've had a couple of shots of tequila, so I may slur a little bit. But before we get started, I want to do some housekeeping. First of all, I want to thank my moderators, because I don't think I've done that. I want to thank you for killing trolls or whatever y'all do. I'm a moderator on some channels. I admit that I may not be the best one, but thank you so much for coming out and killing the negativity that can sometimes come to these channels. I want to say for YouTube, this is for entertainment only, because I'm very entertaining. My opinions are my own. I stand on them, and I know what opinions are. They're like booty holes, assholes. Everybody's got one, and this is mine. So you can come here and you can fart freely. You don't have to worry about how you say anything. If you want to drop some motherfuckers, some shit, whatever you feel like you need to do to vent, by all means, because sometimes motherfucker is just such a beautiful word. It just really, you don't have to use 4 or 5 words, because motherfucker can get 5 or 6 of them together and people totally understand what you're talking about. So if you have sensitive ears, you don't curse, or you all too holy, then perhaps this is not the channel for you. For any of those of you who think we don't like Trump, we can't stand his ass. I know him personally. He was an asshole, a juicy one, a New Yorker, and he just became more of one when he became president. So if you coming on here trying to insult people and call them names, you need to understand, I don't give a shit about your opinion, okay? So we have people here who will help you exit. who will put you in the garbage can. In the words of Lena Rodriguez, move on, pet. Okay. So I'd like to introduce Johnny from Tarosa Apprentice. We all know him. He's our lovely Johnny, and we love him. And I really want to welcome Shay from Blissful Divination, who's a whole lot of fun, y'all. So get ready for some fun. We need a little fun tonight.
Yes, we do.
So I want to begin with some political stuff, because how can we get away from it? How can we fucking get away from it with all the bullshittery that is going on in the Senate and in the House, and all these assholes who just want to make Joe Biden look bad? Now, the first one I want to pull up is Ronnie Johnson, the doctor who lied and came out and said Trump was the healthiest man he'd ever seen. That fat, bloated, girdle-wearing, shitting in his diaper motherfucker. He came out and said, oh, he's the healthiest man I've ever seen. Well, Representative Ronnie Johnson has been called out for drinking, he's a doctor, so he got all the good drugs, doing drugs, and making inappropriate sexual comments, and just being a mean-spirited motherfucker. If I had a second computer, I put his face up, he looked crazy as shit, okay? He is crazy as shit. So the first person we gonna throw some cards on, of course, everything is the Democrats' fault. The first person we gonna throw some cards on is Dr. Ronnie Johnson, drinking, drugging on the gig, okay? So, what is Ronnie Johnson thinking these days? That's my question. He's a representative. I don't know how he made it. I guess he's a representative of his state. I don't even know where he comes from. I just know that he lied when he talked about Trump being a healthy person, when we all knew that there's no way your ass walking in your high heels because you got those lifts in your shoes, that your fat ass is healthy, okay?
See, but Ronnie Johnson, it's easy to be a hoe when you live in a whole house. So when you go and you work for Barack Obama, it's not easy to be a person like you would when you work for Donald Trump. Because he was Obama's physician, and you never heard don't hear from him. He was just the physician.
He was just laying there.
Now all of a sudden he got headlines, and he got sexual scandals, he got drug scandals, he got Trump-like scandals.
Yeah.
It's easy to be a hoe when you live in a whole house.
He's a hoe.
Where's the feather?
When in Rome.
He's a hoe living in the whole house. And Daddy Trump was he's the biggest pimp between him and homegirl Kardashian, the mama. They're the biggest pimps on the planet. He pimped all the asses out.
So what was the question again?
What's Ronnie Johnson going through right now? Because he's been outed for making for making sexual advances, doing drugs, and you look at his face. He looks like a mean-spirited little bitch, you know? So what's he thinking? What's going on with him these days?
His harmony and happiness is taking a huge nosedive. In the Oracle, I first get nourishment, and then I get pleasure. This is what he is indulging in right now. That's all he really cared about. Well, this is what he cared about at the time.
It's all about feel good, Dr. Feel Good.
When you're in the whole house, it is easy to be a whore. But when you get the tap at the door, and then, everybody stay where you are, you're being rated. Now he is in darkness. So his harmony and happiness here with the 10 of Cups has met the tower. So the party is over. This is what Donald Trump left behind. Not to make everything about Trump, but like I said, Trump was the whole house. So when you are in these in particular situations, this is inevitable. You are going to get the tower because that's what you've been working for. You just didn't realize it because you didn't have your eyes on the prize. All you had your eyes on was whatever you wanted to grab and touch.
And you had power and you could do what you wanted to do.
So this is only the beginning.
Okay.
Beginning.
So they're going to find more about Dr. Roddy, huh?
They can't help it. He was in the whole house.
See, with Big Daddy Trump, 45, I don't even want to say his name.
Well, he's
guy.
Speeches and getting money, and y'all all getting cases and news headlines and all that.
He's leaving y'all's asses in the dust. What do you get, Shay?
Well, right now, what I've gotten so far is with the Seven of Cups. So he doesn't know exactly where. There we go. Where he should his direction, where he should put his focus right now. He's working on some projects. He's trying to get some irons in the fire. You know, trying to get things set up so he can start something new. Okay, because really right now he's just, I don't even know, like this light is right, Joe, sorry about that. But I got the Seven of Swords here. And so he's basically, I feel like he's battling for his life. Like, I feel like people know that he was lying. Like, his reputation is not very reliable. He wants it. He was trying to do it the way things has always been done, and you know, that nostalgia factor for what was. But you know, it's what he deserves. What he's going through right now is exactly what he deserves, and he is afraid of being left out all alone by himself. You know, and I just feel like for him, you know, he's really, there's like, he's got this strong connection to this one project. He has this one project that he strongly connects to, and he's nurturing it like his little baby. And he is, so that's what he's working on right now, trying to make himself relevant, get back on the stage for 5 more minutes, or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
kind of.
I do.
When he was Trump's doctor, he was somebody.
Yeah. Yeah, he was. He thought it was somebody. I have the Five of Swords where it feels like, now I am not as good as the masters here at reading tarot. I only look at the pictures and what they say to me. And I see that he's kind of looking behind him and picking up his 2 swords and trying to creep away because he knows all the other swords and all the stuff that's stuck in the ground. All of this shit is that he's being revealed, that it's falling away. So he's hoping he can get away with these 2 swords. But I do see the 5 of Cups. His cups are empty. He's got spilled shit. His tea is being told. So it don't matter what you do. Your tea is being told, and you standing there looking at it, trying to feel sorry for your ass, wondering what went wrong. As Johnny would say, you stared in the face of Medusa. So that's what went wrong when you came out and lied about how healthy this man was, when we know good and well you don't get healthy eating McDonald's hamburgers. And I do get the 9, the hermit. He's by himself. He's trying to figure out, where do I go from here? Because my goose is motherfucking cooked. Where do I go from here? Who's going to respect me after I leave this office? I've really screwed up. And you can't keep blaming it on the Democrats, because this is the shit that Trump left. Ooh, I don't want to say his name. We're going to call him the former guy, or 45. This is the boo-boo that he left behind, and everybody who followed him and thought they were on a winning team have shit stuck to their shoes. It's like when you step in a dog turd and it sticks to your shoe, and you walk into your house and say, damn, what's stinking? You. So
you brought your behind in here.
That's right. You stepped in the dog shit, wasn't paying attention. And so now here we are. All
I
right.
think that they're scared of him. They're scared of
They
him. And
are.
what they keep showing me is kind of his followers are like the Hitler thing, where Hitler was spouting all that stuff about hating Jews and all that, and it was self-hate because he was one.
It was self-hate,
right?
yeah.
And
he had one
they're scared of him. So everybody was like, why did you go along with it if you didn't agree with it? Well, everybody was doing it and they didn't want to be standing out. They didn't want that to turn on them and their family.
Yeah, because it was insidious. It was like if you turned on Hitler and your family spoke against him, it meant death. Now, Ivana, the first wife, when I was in New York hanging out, she was his wife at the time. We attended 3 parties. I went to be nosy and to eat the food and see who was there. He was an asshole, but he was very nice to me because he wanted to have a moment with the person that I was with, who was and is very high profile in New York. I've been blessed to be around people with lots of money. He was very, very sweet to me because he figured if he could get me on side, that he would be able to have this photo op. But I was blocking, baby. I knew that when I shook his hand, see, and that lie that he didn't do coke, his eyes were like black marbles. He was high as a fucking kite. And people were going into the bathroom. They acted like cocaine was legal. So when somebody went in and said, do you want to go powder your nose? It was code, because when you went in the bathroom, all you heard was, nobody was peeing. They were snorting, and he was one of them. So we all knew who he was when he anointed himself king of New York. He was not a nice man. It's all about the money. It's always been about the money. He was always washing money. He was always doing what he was doing. So when he became president, as Michael Cohen said, he was like that guy on steroids because he was in debt to so many foreigners, to the Russians, and his stupid ass son, Don Jr., even said on tape, they had exhausted loans in the US, and he said, well, we don't need no money from here. We get money from Russia. Stupid motherfucker. Anyway, let's move on.
It's so easy, though, to raise stupid kids when you have stupid parents.
Well, going back to...
Dogs can only raise dogs. They don't know how to raise birds.
They don't. And Ivana said the only book that he ever had was Mein Kampf, which is My Struggle, written by Hegel. And I didn't know the motherfucker could read, okay? So somebody might have been reading it to him, but she said that was the only book he paid attention to. And when I studied all of this because I wondered what was the fascination. His main man, I want to say Mengele, one of them, their favorite movie was It's a Wonderful Life, and they understood Hollywood and the power of the media. So they created these films that made the Fuhrer look like he was a good guy. He hypnotized people. And what he learned is that you keep lying long enough, you keep telling the same thing over and over and over and over again, somebody is going to believe it. Now, this is my opinion, and if you get offended, I don't care because this is the truth. White America is seeing their majority leaving as the browning of this country continues. And the old white men who have been in power forever and ever and who have enriched themselves with our money are nervous. And they're nervous for a number of reasons. Because Mitch McConnell, who says that the descendants of the slave owners shouldn't be held accountable because they ain't slave owners no more.
If he don't want to pay reparations.
Fuck you, boy.
His family.
Fuck you. If y'all holding up the Bible and waving it like a flag, The word says, it does say, the sins of the fathers are visited upon the sons.
And let's go all the way back. If you had slaves in this country, then you more than likely were standing on land you stole from the indigenous.
You stole from the First Nation people.
You owe everybody.
Who's already here. It's amazing to me that people from the British Isles could sail around. Columbus lost. He got lost. His ass was lost, okay? Y'all come to a shore, you don't see nobody. You plant a flag, name it in the name of the Queen, because you don't see nobody.
If you don't see nobody, ain't nobody there.
Well, that bitch didn't dig up no diamonds in the back of Buckingham Palace. Those diamonds came from the African nations, the mines of the African nations. But anyway, I'm on a tangent. Okay.
Wakanda forever.
Say what?
I said Wakanda forever.
Wakanda, I mean, really. Wakanda, I am the blackest of the black. And I love my black people with all of their madness, all of this shit. I love us. Because the one thing we ain't dull. Okay, God damn it. We are not dull. All right, so we found out recently that one of 45's appointees was arrested and charged with being at the Capitol riots. Now, your stupid ass went out and shit that made people recognize your ass. You a dumbass, okay? Now, we all have questions about who he had secret clearance. We're all wondering who was doing reconnaissance inside of the Capitol to let those people in. I don't know the boy's name, but his appointee has been arrested and charged with federal crimes, like about 19 counts or something like that. One of Trump's appointees. Let's
The
read
FBI
on his
has arrested 4 more people in the state of Texas.
Huh? They did?
Yes. Which, again, let's okay, for a second, let me just go here. I understand the whip it up in your mind frenzy that Donald Trump has, or anybody could have, over easily led people, over people who have no discernment, don't want none, they never turn Fox News off. All they want is a leader so that we can go in that direction. We don't really know where we're going. We're kind of just like, termites.
Meth heads and opioid addicted motherfuckers.
And,
okay?
some, yes. But here's my... It's never mind the following the goofy person over the ledge. If you are going to follow this person into a riot situation, don't put your gold medals on from the Olympics. Don't wear a shirt with your name on it.
With an insignia.
Cover your face. This is literally a heist. Like, I understand that y'all are not practiced criminals, but you have seen enough Republican TV to know the bad guy is usually somebody brown, is trying to disguise themselves or trying to get away. Like, there's something in you. I don't want to keep calling people stupid. There's something in
stupid.
That's it's a different kind of stupid, though. It's not like stupid is, and you still don't do better. This is like they don't want to know because all they watch is Fox News. Why do you go to a place, start a riot, and you are completely identifiable by everybody?
Because they are not afraid. They were not afraid of the police. They have never been afraid of police.
They were not.
They are not. So why would you cover your face if you don't think you're doing something wrong? If you're thinking this is your country, that's your house. Have you ever walked up to DC up in there and be like, this is my house. Let me just walk up here, disregard all these rules.
Let me just. And Becca says that the guy had a top secret clearance. So he, I really feel like this shit is getting closer and closer to the Josh Hawleys and to all the people who wanted to stop the vote, the Electoral College vote. We'll get to them later. But can we read on his?
They're using him. You is the Hispanic. They don't care about you, Hispanic man.
And the elites that he talks about, you went to Harvard, Yale, Oxford. You're trying to rail against the elites, and you're one of them.
And they're calling you a spicy bean burger just right behind your back when you walk out to go get them some coffee and go do their errands and their laundry. Because he wants so bad for their approval, their acceptance.
Their acceptance, you know. And what Republicans have failed to mention is that all of the voter fraud that has been found has been Republicans cheating. They never mention that. The only fraud they have found has been all Republican fraud since 2016. But they don't talk about that.
Democrats don't talk about that either.
Yeah, well, you know, I want them to get a pussy. Betty White said, everybody talks about the men getting balls. She said they need to get a pussy because those things can take a pounding. Okay? Balls are very delicate. They need to grow a pussy. So
I just feel like theirs has to be a total. Someone's gonna have to come in and ride in on their white horse and deal, because basically the way that the U.S. governmental election, all of that. I'm sorry, you guys, love you, but y'all shit is fucked. I was sitting with my husband. I was like, it's 2021. Seriously?
Yeah.
All this happened in 2021, like the Jetsons. Like you know, yeah, like are we supposed to be like flying in spaceships and shit?
Yeah.
And we just took the stupid along with us. We are moving forward into the future as a world, as a globe. But when you come down to what I want in my hand, that's when politics comes into play, and then it never changes.
And it never changes.
The pecking order, it's always, I want this and you can't have that. Meanwhile, they passed the stimulus, today?
After 9, all right, we going, and that's a beautiful segue, Johnny.
Like, I can't.
Because why them Democrats? Why they voted no? What happened?
Kristen Sinema is a bitch, but we going, because she contradicted herself about the $15 an hour raise and people getting $7.25 now, but we gonna get to her ass. Okay, can we read on the appointee that was arrested in the Capitol? What the fuck is he thinking right now? My ass is motherfucking grass.
They gonna save him. That's what he's probably thinking.
Oh, he thinks that somebody's gonna ride in and pull him out.
Well, y'all do know when they go to jail, it's white supremacists in there. They okay. They fine.
Oh, yeah, because, they got the tats and they got the white supremacists who
that's where
fight against the brothers and it's nothing but gang banging up in there.
That's where he going, so you better be ready. Now, look here. The reason there's white supremacists in jail is because everybody's got a clique. The Mexicans got one, the black people got one, the white people got one. You better fall in one or somebody might abuse you. Not necessarily sexually, just abuse you, period. And unless you can get, comfortable with the guards and whatnot. But you're going to jail, boo-boo, and you're going to stay in jail. So congratulations, you played yourself.
Yeah, you're going to be somebody wearing earrings and makeup because you knew pussy. You knew booty.
Okay.
What are you getting?
And
Johnny.
It is exactly as you say, Shay, that they're not afraid of the police. But I'm still like, you didn't think at least you was going to get caught?
Johnny, they didn't. They
thought that they were saving the country, saving all of this. Their natural right, God-given right. They thought they was on the right side of history. They wanted to be in history books.
They felt they were not afraid of the cops because
of I think somebody was looking at me. I got what the hell?
The cops look like them. They came there saying they were invited. They were not afraid. Now it would have been a bloodbath if it had really been. They're trying to blame it on Antifa, which is anti-fascist, which is just a thought. It's not a movement. It's not a hate group. What we are faced with is that, oh yeah, well BLM. And I'm thinking that's some good ass motherfucking makeup. If some black folks was there, or we had a few specks. The brother who claimed to be his black ass is still in prison. Ain't nobody come to save your black ass. You get what you get. And the boy called who came up with the Stop the Steal, the Arab, what's his called? I can't think of his name. He's got a few names, but yeah, that man. Yeah, but him. He's talking about. I saw him on a tape, and he's talking about he's starting a new world. He's starting this stuff. It's like, fuck you. You don't look like them. And in a minute, because everybody you said helped you do this movement is running away from your black ass. You ain't one of them. We are part of the other, which I'm going to come on and explain what the Venus Revolution is about. I'm going to explain in detail what the other represents. The other represents the people who are not white, the medical science who has been studying black people for centuries. They know more about us than we know about us. I'm going to come and explain it. But anyway, let's read on that boy and see whose bitch he's going to be in a minute. I don't care who he gets with. I feel that he is ready to be a girl.
What I was getting was
that's not what you were getting. What are you getting?
No, what I'm getting, what he's getting right now. I don't think he's scared. He still ain't scared.
Okay.
And this is called Muse, right? It's the Muse. He found his calling. I feel like he's in it. Like, right, he's not worried about it. Like everything, he is not worried. New beginning. He's
gonna create a movement.
He feels like he's finally in the game. He's finally driving force. He's motivated. Like, even if he goes to jail, it's going to add to his street cred. I was here. I'm doing stuff. I'm for the movement, that kind of thing.
Right.
Before he felt like he didn't have his purpose in life and stuff. It was cellular collapse. But now, with the dream catchers, he got dream catchers. He's in his element.
Okay.
All of that cosmic prosperity. He's getting paid. Mm-hmm. He's going to make money off of this.
Okay.
This experience, this movement, this whatever.
This thing that he started, that he's a part of. Johnny, what are you getting?
I went already.
You did?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me see. Again, an unprofessional person. I'm with the masters right now, and my cards are all boogered up.
I ain't a master.
Yeah, but I do get...
Johnny is the guru.
He is. I do get, like, the 10 of swords. He's collecting his shit. He thinks he's, like, in the shit. I'm taking my stuff of the 10 of wands, excuse me. I'm going into prison and I'm going to meet people who think just like me. However, as the hangman comes up, he's going to have a new learning. He's going to have a different perspective come to him.
That fat meat is greasy.
That's right. We're going to get a new perspective, boo.
He don't believe it.
And he's going to end up with the 8 of cups. Not happy. Because he's somebody's bitch. He's going to be somebody's bitch. Period.
He was Trump's first.
He was Trump's first bitch. But he going to truly understand prison life, and it ain't cute. Okay?
Oh, he going to say, I need my organic grapes. I can't eat my...
Look, that boy had a tantrum in court. He said He was singing songs as a shaman should do.
You ain't no.
And he kept the people from robbing muffins.
But ain't that like not even white? White people don't do that, do they?
He said he kept people from stealing muffins from the break room, which nobody was motherfucking eating in the first place.
He didn't stop nobody from crapping and smearing crap on the wall.
And smearing. Now, you know, that's some white people shit. Because no black person is going to shit.
We would have got our butts.
And wipe their ass and put shit on the walls underneath their fingernails.
If we would have gone like this, our mom would have went.
That's right. We don't do that. Okay? So, no offense, my lovelies. That ain't nothing that we do, okay?
I'm sorry we don't. We would get beat.
We do not. Somebody else in the crowd, if that was black, they beat the shit out of you for being nasty like that, okay?
Girls couldn't fart in my family. Ladies don't fart. They catch the vapors. They had a parlor in the other room. No, I'm not.
We remove ourselves so that we can fart freely. We just don't do it in front of other people.
Like.
All right, the next person. Okay, we're going to go to the Governor Cuomo. The allegations, now, Johnny, I know if you've read on him, the harassment and inappropriate behavior. Now, you know, I intuitively felt 45 has his paws all over it because he wants to get somebody in who will help him get rid of the state charges. He wants a sympathetic governor who will help him get exonerated.
New York is blue. He can forget. New York is blue. He can forget about that.
Well, that's why he would rather be in New York, but he knows his ass can't go back to New York.
Ran away. Just like the NRA did. Letitia James ain't nothing to mess with right now.
She's a badass. I've listened to her interviews.
She's still coming.
She is a badass, okay? See, what people don't understand is that hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. I would say hell hath no fury like a black woman scorned. They call us angry. They give us all kind of, why are black women so angry? Well, bitch, because we have never been able to be the lady of the house. We were raped and beaten and had to fuck the master
and his
to
friend.
Protect our men, okay? We did many things. So to my black brothers who are offended because I'm a strong black woman, if you don't come to me and you ain't scared, see, I'll give you some play if you ain't scared. Because I'm not going to not be strong when I've had to hold up the family, when I've had to raise the children, when I've had to suffer indignities. You dig? Do not come to me with no weak ass motherfucking game. I ain't the one, okay?
What is that?
I ain't the one. So, shit. What was I talking about?
Cuomo.
Huh?
Cuomo.
I lived in New York with my friend, and we were invited to a lot of parties and stuff. And what I found about New York Italians, I once had a Thanksgiving dinner with some New York Italians. It was the loudest Thanksgiving I had ever experienced.
Italians are just black people in whiteface.
Yeah, I mean.
But they don't want to be. They make a clear distinction. Like my father.
They forget about Hannibal riding down on them elephants, especially in Sicily. Hannibal riding down that blackness riding down in Italy on those elephants and overtaking Italy and putting that black gene in them, okay?
Their family.
See, they don't want to talk about that. And the Italians that I knew, the Italian men, especially those who were in power, because I did know many of them who were, they were unprofessional, you know, they were fresh. Now the women, I'm not trying to diminish what the women are saying, but look, I'm a fabulous black woman. You dig? I've been in corporate America, and I have men from all the UN try to bump up on my gluteus, beautiful humpage.
Maximus.
You see, which the king of pop said was awesome. I'll tell you that story a little later. I have had that shape where you have a good rack, small waist, wide hips, and the humpage of life. See, it's called steatopedia, which is an African thing. It means the excess of adipose tissue on our stomachs, thighs, ass, and hips, which gives that curvaceous thing. Now, I'm speaking to an anthropologist to see if our humpage was actually something like camels, like in those dry, arid regions where we had to walk and get water and do things for our families, that perhaps our ass was the supply of that. See, there's a reason for a whole lot of shit. The Creator did not create us without a purpose. Black women are the only women with the Eve gene, which means we can have babies of all colors from our own bodies, whether we mate with somebody of another race or not. We are the mothers of the universe. Now, I used to be embarrassed with my glorious glutes. I would see men waiting for
them
me.
now.
I would see men wait. I would cross over and walk down the street because I was embarrassed by it until I understood the beauty of it. Black women are motherfucking amazing.
We are.
And we need to take pride in our beauty, in our blackness. Now, as I said earlier, I'm going to come on and explain how I began the Venus Revolution in 2006 with our muse being the Hottentot Venus, Sarche Sarah Bartman, who was a circus freak. She was considered a freak because she had the ass of life. Yeah. And the men who she went willingly with a disgraced British doctor and her owner, who was indebted to this cat, to the UK, and she became part of the Piccadilly Circus because of her ass. They treated her like she was this savage. So she was in a cage. Her handler led her out of this cage like she was an animal, a wild animal that needed taming.
Mm-hmm. And they want to have sex with her too.
They would. She was violated. She was not looked upon because, see, what we don't understand is that the brilliant minds, the medical minds, have studied us, and Black people, African people, were always on the lowest level. They considered her to be the missing link between apes and human beings. And when she died, they didn't give a shit how she died. They cut her body up, put her vaginal parts in a jar, because in the Khoisan people, the women had the minor labia that extended beyond the major labia, which they thought was the reason that Black women had these, quote, insatiable sexual appetites. They didn't understand that in Africa, to go forth and multiply, to go forth and have the joy of being with somebody and the creation was part of how we lived. That's a whole nother thing.
Yeah, that one right there. We're
gonna have to discuss that, Shay. We're gonna have to come on and talk about that. And
my daughter played her in school. They had her play a part.
Did they?
Yeah, because she's an actress, and they had her play that. And she said, "Mom, that was the hardest role to play."
Yeah,
it felt so.
I have a book called by these South African professors who were teaching. Now, the irony is that these are a white man and woman, Afrikaners, who are teaching Black history at Emory University. They wrote a great book called The Hottentot Venus, a ghost story and a myth. I have the book. I was on a panel with them because when the Venus Revolution started, we kicked up a lot of sand because we challenged the beauty, in America, we challenged that beauty that we had accepted based on the white beauty standard. We challenged that beautiful, full-figured, mostly it was, I was hanging out with a rapper. He's a brilliant guy. I love him. We were having lunch and he was doing a video, and this statuesque Black woman walked up to us and he was just like enchanted. He said, "Have you ever been in a video?" She said, "I have never even considered it because I was told I was too Black and too ugly." And it really fucks with his mind. So that's how the Venus Revolution got started. She was statuesque, beautiful in all her chocolateness. And yet she had been told she was too Black and too ugly.
I've been crying the last few days because I started, about 2 or 3 weeks ago, I started watching Nigerian television from Nollywood. I had never seen it.
Me too, girl.
I cried and I told my husband, I said, my head is done in because I have never seen, from the extras to the actresses to the supporting actress, everybody just Black and killing it. The fashion.
Yes.
Oh my God, they're beautiful. And they wearing wigs like it's earrings. Like they could just switch it up. Oh, I'm loving it, right? So then I'm like the family genealogist. So that put me on to AfricanAncestry.com. I'm about to do that coming up here in a few weeks.
Me too.
Yes, Chalk. But just to find, to go and feel like the majority and not a minority is something I feel inside my soul. And I just think if we have to start, we have been robbed. What I cried for was because they taught me I was ugly.
Right.
They taught me to hate everything about myself. And then they taught me that my people hate me. My people were kidnapped. They had family on the other side that never knew what happened to them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so we experienced it on that side of the ocean. They experienced kidnap. They call it kidnap when we were kidnapped from our homes.
Right.
And just by that, it's like watching Nollywood helped me to start seeing people in myself. Like I see people that look like people over here. And I'm like,
right.
We're beautiful. We are these women, and they weren't even sucking in their guts. They was just like, blah, blah,
they were just like all of that. Okay.
Shape, form, everything. But I am enjoying this because these are things that I'm into as well. And I think that it is a sin. It's so bad that beautiful women that they steal everything from, and then they try to demean her and erase her.
Right.
But you cannot. I cannot wait till I go back to Africa so I can say they tried to kill us, kill our spirit. But here I am, full circle.
Here we are. We are the hopes and dreams that is talked about in Hebrews 11 that says, now faith is the hope of is the now faith is the evidence of things hoped for.
Or the substance of things hoped for.
The substance of things that are not seen. We are the dreams, and it's unfortunate that even with our African brothers and sisters, that they want to try to come to this country and live great lives and make us feel as if we don't know what we have. I can't tell you how many times I've been in a lift with a Nigerian driver and had to like motherfuck them up and down for them to understand that.
Just tell the African man, tell him, listen, you were in my house.
You don't know what you have.
Like, you are driving this car from the sweat of my family.
You cannot do what you're doing had it not been for our blood, sweat, and tears. You dig?
So shut up and drive the car.
Shut up. And then when 45 said, if we treat them nice, they won't go back to their shithole countries. All of them came on TV to talk about their degrees.
I'm an Afrofuturist, so I'm with
hey, you know what I'm saying? So all I want to say is I will come on and talk about the Venus Revolution and why we started it, but we were talking about it all began with the browning of America. I think, you know, I'm a little boiled. I ain't trying to play with y'all because I'm enjoying this. Happy Saturday, everybody.
Hey.
Turn up. Saturday, y'all. Let's get back on task. All right.
Yes, let's turn up.
All right, we're talking about the Senate hearings with Christopher Wray.
You were talking about Andrew Cuomo, madam.
Oh, yeah, Andrew Cuomo. I have dealt with Italians, or I have been in situations in corporate America because I was working within that. I have dealt with men, especially white men. It didn't matter whether they're Italians or not, where you go into an office because you are a professional at what you do. I have dealt with men who told corny jokes. See, unlike the little white girls who want to now talk about how they felt some kind of way. See, when you tell me a corny joke, I look at you like you are a motherfucking bitch, okay? I ain't laughing. So I turn that shit all the way around. That ain't funny to me.
To you,
I'm not complimented.
You have a spirit to take up and care of yourself.
Yes.
There are some people who can hear not harsh words, but like, you know, I hate their good looking type of thing in a professional setting. And then they recoil and they feel violated. So it's not, you know, I can't tell them how to feel. I think they just good job, but some people are too sensitive.
We cannot tell them how to feel. But I have felt intuitively that 45's hand is all up in it because he wants to put a governor in place who is sympathetic to him so he can dodge Cyrus Vance. He wants a governor who will exonerate him from what he's facing in the state of New York because he's not happy in Mar-a-Lago. He's not happy, but he knows he can't go to New York because people hate his motherfucking ass. So I know that Cuomo, let me tell you something, I've given him some, God damn it. I like it. He could have come on to me and he would have gotten some for me. It's like, yeah, daddy.
Like, Cuomo could have got it.
Yeah, daddy. Shit.
Call Chris, tell him to stand by.
I ain't offended, okay? I'll give you some. Have I ever been with an older man? No. But I'll be with you. Yes.
You're the first.
So, yes. I'll be with you. So I'm looking at these women, and I'm not diminishing. You can't tell nobody how to feel. But I am asking, why now? Now that he's in trouble with this whole what he did to cook the numbers or whatever he's allegedly done to tamper down the number of what was happening within the homes where older people were. Why now? And intuitively, I promise you that this has 45's paw prints all over it. So can we read on what's in the background? What is the mechanism that has jumped on his troubles with those numbers for COVID right now?
So behind the accusations, I'll go there. There's manipulation with the magician. So there is the story that is being cooked up. It has something to do with the women here. Now, I'm not going to blame Trump because he didn't come up. That's the only reason I'm not.
Well, he knows how not to get his hands dirty.
But I was the only reason I'm not going to say his name, just so I don't influence my own reading. I think he's responsible for everything. But in particular case, I won't say his name because it didn't come up. But the messaging here is a scheme with the Page of Wands and the Seven of Swords. Because there is money always involved in things like this. Say even Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby raped half of New York, and there's still
right. Because his hands is supposed to be involved with Bill Cosby shit too. But I
guarantee you that at least one of those people that accused Bill Cosby was paid to do so. So even now, I think I said there were 3 women. There's going to be 4, I think, altogether, and I think this is a hit job. Just me.
It is. I think so too, Johnny. It's a hit job. And I can only speak with what I get in my spirit. I feel like Keith Schiller or somebody that he is instructed to go out and get these women on side. You remember when Stormy Daniels said she was with her child at a grocery store and somebody approached her and tried to quiet her for what she was saying about Donald Trump. I feel like in my spirit, intuitively, I feel like that's what has happened. Michael Cohen says he has a way of getting things done without getting his hands dirty. Now, Cuomo may, as you have said, Johnny, in your reading, he may have acted unprofessionally. When I was in New York,
I was trying to be fair when I said that, but look, like when you are in a space with people, okay, let me put myself that way. I don't generalize. When I am in a space with people, we have a different vernacular. Like we can say things that an outside person may walk past our conversation and be like, what in the hell were they talking about? Like, it just seems to me that when you're in them type of spaces and places, the people you're working with, you get a little more comfortable with, and you may say something fresh.
Right.
You may say something that somebody else may look at as inappropriate. I was just trying to be fair and say, he did act unprofessionally because, yes, it is technically unprofessional.
Yes.
But I don't think anybody felt harassed. I still don't.
I don't either. I really don't.
Well, he's coming. Yeah, I don't think so either because they're coming for him now. They're coming for him. And his problem is that what's crossing him is that like they want him to walk away, but he's not going to do that, right? Because he feels like this is his time. Okay. Now, think about right now he's going to do a deal. I think it's going to wind up something with a deal possibly because he doesn't see it. He doesn't see it as he did appropriate, as Johnny said. He saw it that as consensual, like, because they smiled in his face. Right. When they smiled in his face, he took that to be like, okay, and I'm going to say something that's probably unpopular. Back in the day, that was the culture.
It was
male dominated. Girls were taught how to navigate that.
Yeah.
That's right.
And some girls didn't know how to play that off or navigate it or stroke and feed the ego of the white man correctly.
Right.
And they didn't handle
especially
him
black women. We had black women were and I can only speak from my personal experience. We were looked upon as things. as
All women were.
sexual objects. So when somebody in power would come to you and talk to you or flatter you, whatever, I like my women the way I like my coffee, black and sweet. Well, bitch, you didn't marry one. What's your wife look like? I'm supposed to be
like I like my coffee. I like it rich. How's
you
that?
see, first I look at the purse, baby. What can you offer me? Because I might be able to play in your team if you can give me something worth the play. All right,
And
we were looking at as easy targets,
But that's how it was. It just is, and I do feel that there's going to be women, okay? He's afraid of this one woman. He's afraid of this woman right here.
Okay.
He's afraid of this woman, and then there's another woman. This one is the Queen of Wands.
What keeps coming up?
And the Queen of Swords.
Yeah.
So there's two women. There's two women at least that got something that concerns him. But the thing about it is, I don't know. I think that, okay, yeah, there were dudes that acted inappropriately. How far do we go back though? How far do we take it before it's you're coming for him because you can, or there's a difference between him, sexually harassing, raping you or whatever, and then you playing along back in the day like people had to try to not to offend. Yes, that's wrong, but at what point, right? Like, are you being an opportunist?
Yeah.
Did he touch a person?
I feel the spirit of Keith Schiller, because the same man that approached Stormy Daniels with her child to get her to shut up, I just feel like, I don't know how I can explain it. It may not be Keith Schiller who has changed his diapers and put on his girdle so that he could put that fat ass belly, his waist cincher in. I feel that somebody approached these chicks and said, look, we'll pay you. Yeah, we got money.
You want to come to a party? You know how it's going up there. There's a party.
Yeah, it's a party. Go on CBS. Y'all go on and talk about how uncomfortable you felt. I guess the difference between me and the little white girls is that I would challenge these people who were talking to me like that. I would challenge them because I've been hit on like that in corporate America, because black women were looked at as easy fucking targets, as sexual, all the juice.
But you're not intimidated.
I'm not intimidated.
And that's the thing, when you're not intimidated, they don't like you.
Mm-hmm.
No, I was not intimidated at all. And I remember once when I was supposed to be going to see this very powerful agent in LA. He was the biggest agent who had made a lot of black women's careers in music. I'm not going to mention the names or his name. And I went to see him because somebody referred me to him. I didn't know at that time that her whole gig was to get him girls. I went to his office. I brought my music and my tape, and I was dressed and looking good. He was not at all interested in my music. He wanted to know what kind of drugs I liked, and he kind of dismissed the music. And he led me from the chair where I was sitting across from his desk to a sofa where he wanted to know, well, what do you like to get, what do you like to get high on? And what is, he was asking me, and I was telling him I came here with music. I came here because I was told, and I know your reputation, that you could help me move up the ladder in music. And he sat me on the sofa and he walked up to me and had his crotch in my face. What I said was, okay, I see what time it is. You're going to treat me like a hoe? Then you're going to pay me like one, because then you won't tell. He was pissed off. It's like, okay, we can do a transaction. I came to you with my music. Now you want to talk to me like I'm a hoe. I'll sell you some shit. You're going to pay enough that you won't talk about it. My agent called me and said, honey, you can't take these people seriously in this business if you're going to, I said, I didn't do that, and he's lying to you. I went to him and presented myself as a professional, but he thought it was okay to treat me like a hoe. Now, you're going to either be my agent and stand up for me, or fuck it. Because, see, black women, even in Hollywood, couldn't do what white girls were doing. They were hanging out with men with money who had connections in the studios, movies, music, whatever. They were nothing more than hoes.
You got to learn how to play the game.
And I could name names, but their information wasn't ever put out there like that. That's how they climbed the ladder. But a sister could not do that. We could not do that and be treated with any kind of respect. So all I'm saying is I can't tell these women how to feel. But I feel like you got paid to come out and try to nail this man. He was unprofessional, sure. I've known enough New York Italians and just men, period, they're boneheads. They think that shit.
Here's my question though. Because he said, this is according to Cuomo, that one of the aides, he asked her about her sex life. What conversation were you having where that came up?
Right.
That's his entitlement. That's what he thinks that Doodle won't stick to him.
He's a powerful man. He feels like it's okay for him to say that shit.
Yeah.
See, and that's the part I don't really believe. I believe y'all was having a conversation where you were in the vicinity of sex life conversation. I don't think y'all was talking about what's the best to use, whiteout or liquid paper, and then, what about the sex life? I think y'all was talking about getting down with the get down at some kind of something, or you was talking about a party, or you were talking about your nightlife. You were talking about something that was in the vicinity of sex life conversation.
That led up.
You about it. Because what else? Because the only reason I think he would ask you about your sex life is if he wanted to have sex with you, and you didn't say that.
And that there was a conversation that led up to that.
It like something y'all was talking about, something where he got the idea that let's go here, and now all of a sudden you harass.
She said it took place at a party, his place, his job. Where did she say that it took place? I don't.
This was from Cuomo. He said that. So I'm not sure where they were.
Because if those girls are at parties
in the office,
come on, y'all. We from the tri-state area. We know how that works. If you go to a party in New York City, you know what's happening up there.
That's right.
Games. Oh, you was innocent at the Bible study, came up there with your little tight dress on, and then he grabbed you by your pussy. I mean, what you gonna think happened? Hanging out with his
those conversations didn't just come out of nowhere.
That's my thing. What was y'all talking about that he asked you that in the first place?
She should have been home, and she had sensitive skin. She should not have gone to wherever she was.
Don't
stay in a child's place. If you don't know how black folk do, stay in a child's place.
Yeah.
If y'all was at the office and if y'all was in the government mansion, wherever y'all was, you was still having a conversation with that man that led him to believe he could ask you about this. And mind you, he asked you about this not yesterday, at some other
10
point.
years ago.
And now you are harassed.
It has messed your life up so bad for so many years.
That you just so fucking traumatized. I feel like the pause of 45 and his
nobody said he touched me.
Can we look into that? Can we just kind of take a peek behind the veil for 45's paw prints? Because his thing is that I know how to suggest, I know how to put out orders without getting my hands dirty. I'm in deep shit in New York. Cyrus Vance has my tax information. I want to know, is he involved? Is 45 involved in this hit job? Because it feels to me intuitively like a hit job.
Meanwhile, this
even though at Cuomo maybe
paid $750 goddamn dollars in taxes. 700 and look here. $750 in taxes is all his bitch ass paid. I owe $2,500.
Right.
Explain.
My son is paying more money in taxes than Donald Trump.
I owe right
Single
now
people get
$3,000 to the state of Pennsylvania and the federal IRS together, and he paid
that's right. And he's $750.
Kiss my ass with Ruby Red.
And came on and said nobody knows how to do the tax laws like I do.
You ain't did shit. Some lawyer somewhere did your taxes.
Somebody, and Wieselberg, we're going to read on him next. The accountant for the whole Trump family since Daddy Trump is now in the crosshairs. Alan Wieselberg. He's old. He's probably worried about his family. But I want to know, is Trump or his minions are behind some of Cuomo's troubles with these sexual harassment charges? It doesn't feel right. Feels like it just feels fishy to me. What fell out?
Yes. He did something that 45 didn't like. And now he's getting canceled. Okay, so we got, the graveyard and we got Three's a Crowd. So it's too many people in this here relationship. And he's being canceled. You know what I mean? And there's his flower on his grave. So they're trying to get rid of him because he did something that he didn't like. I'm not exactly sure what he did to anger him.
They stood up to him in COVID. Remember when they denied that help? When he was crying out for them to send him vaccinate or whatever he needed for New York City, and Trump wanted him and Gavin Newsom from California to kiss his ring, and they said, fuck you, we ain't doing that. So Cuomo to me is a perceived enemy. He's a perceived enemy.
It is. Okay. So coming from that area and living in that lifestyle, because I've lived in it, you don't even know. All I'm going to say is he angered, I feel my personal opinion is that Cuomo is with his family.
All right.
And they feel disrespected because, number one, 45 has always wanted to play like he's in the family, but he ain't in the family. They don't like him. He ain't family no matter what he do. He's a fucking, that's what they probably would call him what he is or whatever. Mm-hmm. And if you know anything about them, they all about family. They will be nice to you. They will invite you over, but you are in your place. You will never be on the inside because you're not family.
You're not family.
But I've had wonderful, beautiful Italian people in my life, and they've worked with my family. But I know my place because, trust me, we just know. I was personally told Black women were great to play with, but there's not who to bring home to mother. That's what I was
right
to my face to an Italian boy, because I started thinking because our parents worked together that I was privileged.
Yeah.
But then I learned real quick what they thought about Black people. And it's not because I didn't come from a good home, and it's not because I'm not educated. No. It's because my skin. Okay with having you as a mistress, but not.
Yeah, I'm fine to be that for you. You can come. I have been over for Thanksgiving dinners and Christmas holidays and all that sort of thing. But I understood. I could see that, with the exception with a few, like the Robert De Niro's, who love the smell and the taste of a Black woman, with a few, I enjoyed the company, but I never ever thought, like you said, that I was part of the family. I was a friend, or anybody who was hitting on me. I could be the mistress. I could be this. but I could never be
like family. Like
yeah.
family. There's a difference, and I took that to mean something else. They will take care of you. If something's wrong, they will help you and take care of you.
Oh yeah.
But you cannot become a part of the family. It don't matter if you're Catholic, not Catholic. It's nothing that you can do. And so I was like, that kind of, because I like me white men. It's no joke. I'm married to one. I like all men, actually. I have black husbands.
Me too. I dated the United Nations.
That's right.
Girl.
I like penis.
Me too. And I'm, from Morocco to Algiers to...
I don't care what color it is, as long as it meet my standards. So I'm going to say it like this. There's women, if you're going to hang around power, if you like powerful men, you got to know how to play the game. You got to know where your place is. You need to know when you can step in and when you need to mind your business. You ain't seen nothing. Just mind your business. Go on about your business.
That's right.
Excuse yourself.
And the times are really tight on family. And he's not part of the family. And the thing that Cuomo knows is that they all knew him when he was in New York. They all knew him. Yeah, they all know him.
They know what he's about. That's why I'm very shocked. I'm in shock that they're like dealing with him. Like I'm shocked that they're still messing with him. But I guess he made promises, right?
Well, he made, I'm just saying, whatever he's doing, I don't think it's going to work because he's offended too many people and he no longer has a cover as being president. Well, I don't know what it is. I had just been in a situation, blackmail, that feel as if it's okay for them to talk to you a certain kind of way. The difference between me and the little girls or the women who were so offended is that I turn it back on them. So they become uncomfortable. That shit ain't funny to me. I am not flattered by you trying to and back up. Don't get too motherfucking close to me. Back up. I was at a party one time with a lot of famous people. And I love to dance. And this was at the time when you had those dances where you could touch. You would do the bump. You would just touch the body. You would embrace each other and dance. And I remember loving to dance. I was at this party on Central Park East. And I was getting all of these men who wanted to dance with me until I realized they all wanted to get up behind me and rub on my ass. They wanted to dance with me to get into my lusciousness. I sat my ass down and did not move anymore, okay? It was flying. What? At first I thought, I'm dancing because I love to dance. But their whole purpose was to get up on me. And this was like a mixed crowd. You had a mixed crowd because there were attorneys, there were actors, there were politicians, all named people in New York City who were at this party. It was a wonderful party. The music was good. Sat my ass down and would not move. Okay, I decided I'm done. Because I knew why they were moving on me.
They get drunk on that power, and I feel like if people know when they hang around certain types of guys or certain type of men of that position, that they feel very entitled. And then they smile. They're very charming. A lot of men don't get to power without being charming or having someone.
Charming, girl.
Oh my God, they are so charming. And the thing about it is that, like I said, you got to continually learn how to dodge that. Because you can get into a situation real quick where it's going ugly. It turned ugly. You know what I mean? Yeah. So they don't see it like that. They think I'm a good looking guy. What? I'm a good looking guy.
Yeah.
What? You want some of this?
Yeah, I got all of this going on. Why don't you want to come with me?
I'll make it worth your while. Not so much like a whore, but meaning I know the game. It's like the sugar baby game. You know what I mean? I understand a woman's time is valuable. They say stuff. They do. You're beautiful. You need some pretty things. And you, what you gonna say? No, I'm not pretty. I don't need pretty things.
And see, let me say this.
Okay, Johnny.
Johnson.
Let me say this on behalf of the men, Jace Harnage. Don't get up with your two cheeks and rub them on nobody and think they don't want to rub back.
Well, I wasn't trying to rub them on nobody.
This is the same kind of energy that gets on a rapper's tour bus and don't think he don't want them.
Right. Look at her with her Diana Ross beautifulness, and she didn't think that them men was gonna be like trying to break her back that thing up.
So if you ain't trying to rub no pole standing up, sit your ass down.
I wasn't doing that, Johnny. I just wanted to dance.
What was you doing there, girl? What was you doing there?
I was just dancing, and I loved that was back in the day, I guess, when people actually slow dance, when they actually touch each other in a dance.
We were
doing the bump, and we were like moving it.
Men, I would say those men.
And that which I was embarrassed of. My ass, which I was embarrassed because I was embarrassed.
Well, I get it. I used to walk with my butt sucked in with my books because back in the day, having a butt. White girls had this walk where they held their books and they used to walk like no butt. So I had to push my pelvis forward and I walk like this. With my pelvis forward so my butt wouldn't stick out because that was a bad thing. And then here comes Jenny from the block. Now I've got enough butt.
Right. Here come the Kardashians. That we'll get to them in a minute.
You let me hit the lottery. The first thing I'm buying is a video girl booty. I'm telling you right now.
Let me tell you something. If I was to be able to stand up, I am 5'3". I have a beautiful rack. I have a small waist. I have the typical black girl. Wide hips, big ass thing. I have that Hottentot thing.
I got big.
And I was embarrassed of it for most of my life. I just felt embarrassed by it. And then I realized, shit, I'm a fucking queen.
Slay. Okay. Slay.
This is mesmerizing. This is why people follow me down the street. I've had people when I lived in Hawaii who backed up on one-way traffic to find out who I was, okay?
So they make us hate that instead of celebrating it. Celebrate. I want to celebrate. I want to be that hype woman like that. And let's
exactly. And we're going to have to get together and do that. Celebrate our blackness and our beauty and our natural. I remember when I was a kid and somebody talked to me about my full-figured mouth. He called them soup coolers. His name was Mike Simpson. He was this white boy. I used to fight him at the bus stop. He talked about my lips to have lips that I'm naturally blessed with.
Yeah, I've always liked mine. I always had big, giant, beautiful, gorgeous, luscious lips. But it's like, because I always knew there are people in this world that paid money to have what I already got.
Absolutely. So when Madonna and all of these people became, this is not a thing. I've noticed that a lot of white people have like a slit or like their lips.
They called me plate lips growing up. Plate lips. They said my lips was like two plates slapping together.
Yeah, I have this full mouth.
I'd be like,
and I remember we at the bus stops, and this bastard Mike Simpson said something about my soup coolers, and I decked his ass. I fought him in my beautiful clothes. I beat his ass for saying soup cooler. I've always had a luscious, full mouth. Everything about me is motherfucking full. And you can't come to me with no weak ass game. You can't come to me tired. You can't come to me talking about none of your fantasies, because I have you wearing my panties.
No, she didn't.
You be wearing my panties looking for me at high noon with a flashlight.
I'll be like, bartender, I'll have what she's having.
That's so we're gonna move on, because the Senate hearings with Christopher Wray. Can we look at on Christopher Wray, because
wait a minute, Johnny.
Biden kept him on. Hey, girl.
He's like, one time it was like the sparkling water with the no flavor.
I can't. Here's my thing.
Johnny likes his berries. He likes his flavored water.
It's got to taste like something other than my mouth.
I know.
Give me a cherry,
Johnny,
strawberry,
I'm
orange,
right
grape, lemon, lime, slice of mango.
My imagination.
Something.
Imagine.
They got this new water called Hint that has a hint of flavor, but I make my own fruit waters. You can actually make your own fruit waters, and one of my favorite ones is pineapple water. You can get a pineapple and slice it, and cut a whole pineapple and slice it and put it in some water and let it sit for a few days.
And then throw up.
It's delicious. The
water
and then throw up. Pineapple?
No, you don't. The water is lovely.
The water sounds horrible. You put pineapples belong in the trash. That's where you put pineapple.
You know what, Johnny? You are different. You're an alien. I've accepted you're an alien. Fucking alien.
Pineapples belong in the trash and sweet and sour sauce.
No, you have to have pineapple in the water, and it tastes like pineapple, and it's good if you have arthritis or joint issues. The bromide in the pineapple is really soothing.
It's
to your joints. And I eat the pineapple out of the water, but I take half of the pineapple and I put it in a big container of water and let it sit for a day or two, and the water is so divine. It's so divine. Anyway, we're moving on to Chris Ray. How he must have felt with the people that he should be questioning him. Josh Hawley, that slimy, oleaginous piece of shit, Ted Cruz, who needs to shut that fetid shithole of a mouth. That motherfucker needs to shut the fuck up. Talking about what the Dems are doing when your ass ran away. Like everybody can say, oh, Dad, we don't have to go to school. Let's just go to Candid.
Yeah, we're going to school anyway online.
Yeah, let's go to the Carlson.
Dad, you're a bad parent.
Dad, he's the slimy motherfucking uncle that nobody wants to attend Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah, and we come near you, try to go run away, like try to get by.
Run away, especially the kids, like, is Uncle Ted coming? We don't want to come in because he always wants to come over and sit on his lap.
Come and give you a kiss, you'd be like,
yeah.
So,
I can't. I definitely don't like him. He makes my skin crawl.
He does. So let's talk about Chris Ray. Biden kept him on as head of the FBI. I'm wondering why he did so, unless he says, because see, everybody was stressed out under Trump. They couldn't say shit. Ray may be free.
Some stuff, you know. They don't want them calling out him.
Mike Pence needs to sit his phony ass down. He looks like he looks like a man covered in shit. He's so full of, he looks like a swamp creature covered in Donald Trump's doo-doo.
Because he just crawled out his ass, that's why.
He just crawled out his ass. He been drinking the Kool-Aid and sipping on the, eating the corn out of Trump's shit.
Bad
hanging out with Lil Wayne.
Snacking on his old McDonald's leftovers.
Bad visual.
Fuck him. Let's talk about Chris Ray. And I'm going to take a break because I have to pee.
Chris Ray. So he's was he the acting director or is now the director? Which one?
Is now the director. He's still head of the FBI.
Okay. So what question are we asking about him? Is he?
What does Chris Ray know?
What does Chris Ray know?
Yeah, why is he still the head of the FBI?
Okay. Why is he still head of the FBI? What deck shall we use? I'm gonna use these because they'll tell me straight up. Okay. Let's see.
I do not think that Biden is not, in particular instance anyway, one of those people who want to shake up institutional people. Donald Trump is a person who would fire you for your loyalty being wavering because he demanded something from you that's not in your job description. This, I think he's going to stay there because there is nobody that is looking to oust him at the moment.
Do you think he's there because he knows where the bodies are buried, or that they can get more information?
If Biden wants to get rid of somebody, I think he can find a creative way to do it, no matter who it is. But I don't think he has any intention on getting rid of him.
You don't think he has any intention of what, Johnny?
Getting rid of him.
Do you think it's because my second question is, do you think it's because Christopher Wray was stifled somehow under the Trump administration, that perhaps he has information that will help Biden? Because, Biden was given the transcripts of the telephone calls to Putin. And I'm wondering what he found out in those telephone calls.
He does know something. So this is called In the Days.
Ray does know something.
He knows something. And he's being acted as a messenger.
Okay.
As a messenger.
He's a messenger. He does know some stuff that he's been forced to hold on to.
And he shifted his loyalty.
Okay.
Because he knows something that's going to shake up the whole thing. This is called force of nature. But he could shake up the whole thing.
Okay.
And so he gets to keep his job so he can wake up and smell the roses.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's job security. He knows something that's creating job security, and he did that on purpose.
Okay. I always felt he was a straight shooter, but in Trump's administration, even with the investigations with Chow, Mitch McConnell's trying to run out. He's got a list of people that he thinks can take his seat. I hope Captain Crunch, Daniel Cameron, is not one of them, but I think a lot of the people that were in the Trump administration were stifled, and Chris Wray was one of them. So he knows where the bodies are buried.
He knows.
What are you getting, Johnny?
I already went at him.
And I feel like he's working on something too that needed some continuity. Like whatever he's working on, a disruption in leadership would not be best for that, whatever he's working on right now.
Okay.
So also for the continuity of whatever it is that he's doing and what he knows, he has job security.
Okay.
For now.
For now.
Right now he's
let's lighten up a little bit. I want to just lighten up just for a moment because I really want to go in on Ron Johnson, that for entertainment purposes only. that I am convinced is on the DL. You can look at his mouth. He's looking to suck a dick. He's looking for his daily OMI, oral meat injection. And he's not getting it, which is why he acts like a fucking clown. However, let's go to some pop news. Now, what in the T.I. and Tiny Hobbin Harris shit is going on with these peeps? Because now there are liars. There are women saying I was held against my will and I was right. And I was held. I mean, what the fuck is it? They have a criminal lawsuit filed by an attorney in New York, in Atlanta, and in L.A. Lisa Bloom, you know, she and her mama, Gloria Allred, gonna always step in when they think they can present a case. What is Tiny and Homeboy T.I.? Now I'm confused because how did Lisa our mayor make him a civil rights activist? When did he become a civil rights activist? When the fuck did he become a civil rights activist? Okay, so let's look at on Tiny and T.I. What the fuck is going on with them? Because they got 11 women who have come forth and said they were held against. They were one 16 years old, which I have some questions like why your ass is out like that at 16. What's going on with them? Because they're in some deep doo-doo right now. And Lisa Bottoms, our mayor, who appointed him as an activist and speaking for the community, has not come out and said anything about T.I. and these latest allegations. The shows have been canceled, the T.I. and Tiny show. He's been kicked off of film. What's going on? What's going on? Are these charges accurate? Are they serious?
I believe them.
You believe them?
I believe that they have a R. Kelly type situation to where they took disadvantaged young girls and took advantage. I get abundance. These are the rich
strippers and yeah.
I think just anybody, like it's sad to say, but you can go into certain areas of our here country and find people who will do anything to be removed from that situation. And I think that they know this here with the World and the Three of Swords, and they took advantage of that. So I think they do indeed have some sort of blood on their hands when it comes to this type of thing. Now, I don't know if it's all 11 or if it's 2 or if it's 1. If it's a half of 1, it's too many, but
right.
I believe it.
For me, I'm still going to say that I don't think they did that, but I do think that they're in the kink world. I really do. I keep saying that. So you got Long Haul, the judge, and a Meadow of Flowers. So I feel like they're going to be in court with this for quite some time. I still feel like they're going to take the settlement. I still feel like it's not going down the way the girls have said it went down. I feel like people or powers that be were there for some greed reasons. Parents, whoever, because your child, you're right, 16 years old. What is she doing there? She either snuck out the house, defied her parents. She knew exactly what she was full-fledged trying to do, being fast and grown.
Right, exactly.
Okay, so I'm not blaming or saying anything because of child. I'm just going to tell you, as a former fascie, when you fast, that's your ass. That's what it is. Like you doing grown folk stuff instead of staying in child's place. And I kind of feel like those girls were there for profit of something. Something went on sexually, but I feel like it wasn't like they took it. They took the booty. I don't feel like they took the booty. I feel like they put themselves in that situation, and I guess they felt like possibly that it was consensual or something because they was there, or they didn't ask the right questions or enough questions. But I still feel like those girls were there for greed. Some of them were there for greed.
Some of them were there. And having been in this music business for many years and toured the world with very, very, very famous players, I know that there are women, groupies, who come around who are very willing to give up the draws. I've been in situations in cities all across the world where women would come to a gig and say that they knew me. I didn't know who the fuck, I didn't know nobody. But they would say they knew me in order to have me come out to see, so they could get backstage with the men. So there are women who, at 16, I'm troubled by that, because that means that they were engaged in pedophilia. That means, and she's I think 28 or something right now, and she's talking about how she was held against her will and had to call her mama, and her mama came in and had to sign a non-disclosure agreement and all of that. And I'm thinking, where were you, at 16 in my parents' house, I wasn't able to go nowhere. Okay?
Okay. But have you seen the 16-year-olds now? Have you seen the 16-year-olds now?
Right.
I would be checking IDs.
Yeah. So, and then I wondered too how they called this particular woman to talk about it. She said T.I. held a gun to her head, that he was her child's godfather or something, right? That she looked up to him and like T.I. put a pistol to her head, and I mean, she's implicating herself.
I've done this reading before.
Yeah.
On our other petty party we did. I never got anybody's being forced though.
Exactly.
Like there's no rape here. There's
no rape. It was a contract. And I feel like they knew. Part of me, like when I asked the different question I asked, the cards say that they knew what age she was, but. So I'm trying to feel like what's the age of consent? Is the age of consent 16 down there?
I don't know in Georgia. I ain't from Georgia.
Either way, age of consent, they way over the over limit.
Right.
However, something's fishy.
Yeah.
Something's fishy. Okay, I feel like people know about their sexual things.
Because they've been having scenes.
Yeah, but it's not, but it was never, because I feel like T.I. for him, it's like, then go and get out then, like, it is no sweat off his neck, his neck if you're there or you're not.
Right.
Because another one will come. If you're not willing, there's somebody else.
There's somebody else who's willing to come. They went for girls who were strippers, the exotic dancers. Now, here's my thing. Okay. First of all, my mother and I had a very big discussion about my responsibility about myself.
Mm-hmm.
You have some responsibility for what you get your black ass into, okay? Because you're not a follower. You do what you want to do. When you make up your mind to do something, it is done. So having been in the music business, having traveled the world, I even knew young girls when I was on the road and we would come back to LA. There was a group of young girls, white girls, who had like a crew. And I was working with the British rockers at that time. And their number was passed around to all the British rockers, the Ron Stewarts, the Jaggers, all the British rockers coming, their names and numbers were passed around. And I was at parties. I would see these young girls, and they kind of gravitate to me because the one thing they had was respect for me. They didn't do certain things in front of me. And these young girls were girls, you say, where are your parents? Do they know that you're out here putting your body on the line with these cats? Do they know what you're doing?
They lied.
They lied and said they were older, but I could, you know how you have like an instinct, you can look at it, you know they're not 18 years old. And one night we were in a club, and one of the girls in this particular crew brought someone I knew was 12 or 13 years old. And I was fucked up about it. I was sitting at the table with these famous men, and they all looked at me to see my reaction. And I looked at them as if to say, don't you dare. Don't you dare. This is a child. Don't you dare. Now, what they did when I wasn't there, I don't know. But I know that girl, she was a baby. She might have lied and said she was of age. There's no way you could look at her and see that she was of age. So I think, T.I. and Tiny, they, Candy Burst and her man for entertainment purposes, only YouTube, they have all been very open and honest about their desire to be with more than their wives and their husbands. The whole group thing. We can move into Rudy Giuliani's daughter, Caroline Rose, who wrote a piece in Vanity Fair that began with, I want to watch my boyfriend bend you over. She has said that being in threesomes has enriched her life and made her a better person. She said she knew she was at least bisexual, but had barely explored her sexuality. Dating, she went on a dating site called Unicorn, which is a dating site for women who agree to have sex with couples. One woman I chatted with wanted me to dominate her, but submit to her boyfriend after sexting with her. I found that as a submissive myself, that my language to her turned her on, and that it came naturally to me. She identifies as pansexual. So it's not T.I. and Tiny and Candy Burris and Todd and everybody who digs these group scenes. T.I. and Tiny have lawsuits launched by, I think his last name is McFadden, who has launched lawsuits and written to the AGs in California and in Georgia. So I want to check in on the Hobbits, the Harris Hobbits. How are they feeling that these charges have been brought up against them? They're alleging rape, kidnapping, being held against their will.
How do they feel?
You
want to know how they feel?
Yeah, I want to know how T.I. and Tiny are feeling right about now. 11 women have come forth. Lisa Bloom is representing some, and this other man, a McFadden, I want to say is his last name, is representing a number of them and has filed these lawsuits in California. Now, I pull some cards and I see the High Priestess, which could for me represent Tiny, because they're saying Tiny is the madam. She's the one who pulls the girls in tighty, or the woman who has accused them of pulling these women and holding them against her? The woman who actually, I want to say this high priestess represents the woman who has helped them recruit the girl. Now she's telling on them, but she's also telling on herself.
Dang, dang, dang.
Now we have T.I., who feels like this is the Six of Wands. He feels like, he's gotten some respect. Our mayor of Atlanta has appointed him as being like a leader, an activist. The only word T.I. knows is expeditiously. But she has given him a crown to be a spokesman. Damn. I need to be a rapper. Shit.
Hey, bring it.
But I do feel with this Six of Swords, I feel like Tiny is the woman who's sitting in the boat, that Tiny will go down for her man, that she is allowing T.I. to run the whole damn thing. That while they are trying to get out of trouble, she'll take the fall for her man. In the end, she'll have broken heart. They'll both have a broken heart because some of that shit is true. They are, he's a felon. He's been a felon for a while, so he ain't supposed to be around no drugs and guns and all of that.
But look at the business that he's in. That's another thing, right? He's in this world. Okay, what people are failing to understand, that I feel the general public too, they live in a different world. They don't see, their perspective is different. They're dealing with different people that do different stuff. You know what I mean? Like, sex is like I said, I still feel that they're very, very kinky, and I feel that that's what that's about. But I feel like they feel kind of foolish right now that they didn't do something that they should have done. Maybe they didn't do their due diligence. Maybe they didn't call that girl. Maybe they literally didn't know. Who knows? I feel like they're going to, and right now what's crossing them, they got a hard road right now.
Yeah.
And so right now they're just kind of going with the flow, trying to make heads or tails of it. And I feel like what's coming up is that everybody's abandoning ship. I feel like they're saying, you don't know the whole story kind of thing.
Yeah.
But the underage person is really what's messing with them. I don't think that it's all the other girls that would be the situation if it wasn't for that. And I think that they're going to take a moment to kind of figure out how to navigate this. But in the end, I think that they're going to do things differently. They're gonna, this is going to cause them to do their thing different from now on.
Yeah.
And I don't think, you know what? Trust me. T.I. is not the one driving to pick up these girls. Okay? They got people to do that.
Yeah.
They got people that handle all of that bring the people. That's why I'm talking about where they feel like they didn't do their due diligence because they allowed someone else to do stuff. And they trusted and believe in that person or believing what they're being told and just where their mind is, they didn't even think to look themselves. Because they used to people doing stuff when they say handle it, But I'm thinking, if you think that girl look a little young, couldn't you come up and be like, hey, cutie, you look good for your age. Like, just, I don't know, come out there and ask the way people's age are, like however people do it these days. I'm straight up. I'll be like, let me see your ID.
I need to see your ID. I need to
You
know.
look like jailbait girl.
Now, Miss Giuliani is calling herself polyamorous. And in true confession, I've had deep love and affection for both a man and a woman. I call myself a functioning voluptuary, so that whatever I see that I like, if I really want it, I'm going after it. I don't know about all these new labels.
No,
I don't know about all this new shit.
I think that there's a situation where people that have a problem with certain things like that is because they got an issue with themselves and within themselves and their own. I don't give a crap what nobody is, who they sleeping with, who they doing it with, how many people they doing it. I got business to handle. I don't have everybody in their privacy. It's their own thing. As long as you don't involve no children.
That's
you don't involve no dogs, cats, and others. You know, I mean, people that can't stick up for themselves, as long as you're not doing it to them, have at it.
I really don't have any interest in what anyone else may be doing in their bedrooms. It is just not any of my business. But like you said, if it involves pedophilia, if it involves some twisted, sick shit, then yeah, I do have a problem. Anyone I know that has been abusing a child, I am your enemy.
That's right. It's not good.
However, what grown folks do in their bedrooms, if I ain't invited, I don't have jack to say. So let's look in on the hobbits. Let's check in on T.I. and Tiny, because they in a whole lot of trouble right now. Do we feel it like?
Madam, we just did that one.
We did them?
Yes.
Okay.
We just spent 28 minutes talking about it.
Okay.
I have what she's having.
Yeah, I'm having some fabulous. All right, so we're going to talk about Kim Kardashian and Van Jones.
And who?
Now, rumor has it that Kim is attempting to, we didn't see enough of her naked ass, that she's trying to come up and be a lawyer. And that while Kanye was away, Van Jones was in the bushes. You know, Van Jones has been posing as a black man. Sonny Hostin said, black people don't trust your ass. He tried to cry and shit. We don't, nigga. We don't. Your ass sniffed Jared's ass and Ivanka's ass and, So, let's throw some cards.
Yes.
Is he doing Kim Kardashian?
Oh, Lord. If he is, he about to ruin his life.
He about, every black man that's ever involved with a Kardashian.
It's ruined.
It's fucked up.
All of them been on drugs.
And they keep lining up for that plastic putang.
They keep lining up for what I naturally have. That our black men have called us out and talked about us, but when a white girl gets it because she went to the plastic surgeon, everybody wants them a Kardashian. They don't see it on the wall.
Don't get me started about that.
It's bright and shiny.
Y'all know how I feel about them Kardashian skanks. I don't.
So they must have the pussy of life, okay?
No, they got the money. What they do is they sprinkle them dollars on it.
Is that what it is? Because I don't know.
Shoot. I mean, because
every black man is
they are not good looking. They not. I don't care what anybody say. They are not good looking girls.
They have nice makeup
which is all catfish. Take that off. Like, who you?
Yeah.
There's beauty. There's balance. There's attraction. I'm not saying they doing the do and getting down with the get down, but I am saying he does like her.
Of course.
And I'm gonna leave it at that.
He likes her, and he's going to try to help her revive her career because she went out to Trump and helped people get out of jail. But what people don't understand was that the credit they were giving to Kim Kardashian belonged to two black lawyers who've been working for years on prison reform and getting people who were unjustly held in prison out.
But
they pulled a move that allowed her to be the face to go into the White House because she's a reality star, and Trump liked her. she was able to get these, get these things to happen. But it was two black women who were doing illegal work.
I will say for her slightest of defense, she acknowledged that. She didn't say she got them out of jail. She said these two people got this black woman out of jail.
She was late in the game.
In her slightest defense, just to be fair.
She was late in the game, baby. Because all the black children would say, ooh, Kim Kardashian got people out of jail. Let me tell you something.
I think he likes her. He likes what she did, how she built up her little empire. She's like a force of nature. I think that he's hoping to get in on it and cash in on that cosmic prosperity.
And get his motherfucking
get a little bit of that follow. He knows he's gonna. He wants to cash in on her celebrity with this hopeless release, right? He's hoping that she gives like some of her stuff trickles down to his field for whatever reason.
Van Jones has sucked up the Kool-Aid. His motherfucking brain's gonna be sucked out of his head. He's gonna get with her and be with her, because I feel in my spirit, oh yeah, he wants some of that punani. He wants some of that Kardashian.
But that's the thing about it is that I'm like, aren't y'all watching the same stuff we watch?
Nope.
Right, and so you're gonna have your brain sucked out of your head. Sonny Hoskins said black people don't trust you, and we don't. Because even in his last marriage,
all they see is bright and shiny. That's all. They get to bright and shiny, and they follow it to the deep end of the pool, and then they can't get out.
They come out, and they are like zombies. He need to look at Lamar Odoms. He looked at all the men.
But that's the thing. If you would have looked at Paul Manafort, if you'd have looked at George Papadopoulos, if you looked at Mike Flynn, you wouldn't have done what you did for Donald Trump, and yet you did it anyway, and you went down too. And so you just added to the list of people that the closer you got to Trump, the further down you got. Same thing with the Kardashians. The further you get to Kim and Chloe and Courtney and Candice and Cookies and all these people, the closer you get to them people, the worse off your life is. Get out now, or you say for
Get out. Y'all need to watch the movie Get Out, because you're going to come out and you're going to look like a fucking zombie.
He need to get whatever he get. That's what he get for not paying attention. Whatever he get, he need to get it and go on somewhere. He gonna get. They gonna suck the soul out of him.
That's right. She wants to get a law degree. She been trying to go to school to get it. Like that bitch is. We have seen enough of her naked ass to the point where she wants to fix up her image. So she wants to cover that up.
How you gonna cover that up? How you gonna cover that up?
She wants to go to law school. Okay, I ain't gonna never forget it, because her mama is the biggest pimp. She's bad as a boy at the bunny ranch that made hoes legal. Her mom is the biggest pimp. She said, "Okay, you're on a tape with Ray J. We gonna make this work for us. Yeah. He ain't gonna get all the money. We gonna get all the money."
Ray J was irrelevant when she did him. Like, I mean, that's why she was only able to secure him.
That's all. Ray J was Brandy's brother. That's all.
He was Brandy's brother, and Kim was everybody's woman, because I lived in LA, and she was everybody's woman. I'm gonna leave it at that. She claimed to be a makeup artist. She's everybody's fucking woman. So we covered T.I. and the Hobbits, Kim Kardashian. I want to talk about K. Michelle. The people got on her ass. She went through a lot of surgeries, getting her ass pumped up illegal. I don't know. Somebody said illegally. I don't know. She said that this man that she was with told her she needed to pump up her booty. Now, I know in Atlanta, I have a friend who was a transsexual woman who died in her driveway from coming from one of these pumping parties where they are putting industrial grade silicone into these women's asses, and it hardens and travels through their bodies and causes them a whole lot of issues. K. Michelle was doing a twerking video. She's been 7 years going through these surgeries to fix or at least 3 years to fix the damage that was done to her from this pumping. And she was dancing and her butt collapsed. It dropped. So, I want to know, now she's got a lifetime thing. She's going to say she's saving Instagram and, black women's. She's saving black women. I want to know what's going on with K. Michelle. She's a great singer. She was with Idris Elba. He financed her career. God damn, I want to be with Idris Elba. God damn, girl.
You want a lot of women, Hunty.
With your country ass, he was
I still think Denzel. I think Denzel's still better. I'm sorry, but Denzel. Denzel's
a classy man, okay? Look, I look at the black kings that I really admire. Denzel, Idris Elba, Mr. African.
K. Michelle,
she can sing now.
I don't feel bad for her.
I don't even.
And I probably should, because it was tragic. However, as a person who comes from a family full of black women, it is disturbing when your body image is easily manipulated, because all of the men in our family have a responsibility to make sure all the women in our family feel beautiful at all times. That way you don't go outside of us to try to find confirmation.
Or try to fix your body up.
And what she did is she went and illegally, what she did is she got an illegal substance.
Oh, she did? Okay.
So it was like she got it from an actual doctor-ish person, but she got weird material put in her body. And then she said it was traumatic and it was this and it was, oh my God, and woe is me. And I'm thinking to myself the whole time, the stuff that they put in you, you knew was not a good thing. Never mind some man that manipulated your image. Okay, you knew what they put in you was bad and wrong. And yet you walking around with Tonka truck booty, and now all of a sudden it collapsed on the dance floor, and now you want people to feel bad for you, and I'm trying to save you so that you don't go through what I went through. Well, bitch, if they going somewhere and getting fake shit pumped into their body, then let them do it. They deserve what you just got to.
Right. She claims she's, I watched her.
See, here's the problem. Here's why they do that now. Because they can take the fat out your stomach and put it in your behind. The problem is your body redistributes that back into the other parts of you. So then eventually over time, your butt goes back down. And so what they do is pump stuff that don't move. And so that's what she got. Or you can get just like they do for breast implants, go under the muscle and put this big old pad in there.
Right.
And it's basically like you sitting on a waterbed your whole life. So she went and got the pumped up stuff that does not move. So you have the firm booty that doesn't go anywhere. But her collapsed in because it was fake.
You know what bothers me is that allegedly the doctor who was doing this illegal pumping is one of, now I know one of the leading black surgeons here in this city who was, I interviewed him for I'm gonna upload it to my video channel, who said to me He was one of the few doctors who were doing the Brazilian butt lift. And he had to set up a, what do you call, a call center, because women from all over the world wanted to come to him. He said, if I have 10 consultations in a day, 9 of them want to come for it's no longer the breast, it has to do with this Brazilian butt lift. And when he met me and he saw my glorious humpage, he asked me if I had work done. I said, no, darling, this is answered prayer, because I wanted my blouses and my skirts to poke out like the big girl. So God delivered in spades for me. And he got so tickled. He said, well, I could take a little off the flanks, which is the adipose tissue on the hips. He said, but your ass is fabulous. Okay, now his name is Dr. Andrew Jimerson. And he allowed me to interview him for a piece that I'm going to upload on my channel. He said, we didn't know when I started out that women from, all over the world, because there was a black doctor in LA who actually was the, what do you call, the one who would do the Brazilian butt lift. Yeah, and he said it was an art that you that the way he put this stuff up to lift butts up, that it was an art, that it was he didn't treat it as if it was oh yeah, I just want to get a butt. He was proud of his work, and there were only a few doctors doing that at the time. In Atlanta, it was Dr. Andrew Jimerson. What was fascinating to me was that as a black woman who is naturally endowed, that there were women, I remember walking out of a doctor's office and I could feel, because my shit is magnificent, okay? It demands attention. And I was leaving my doctor's office, and I came out of the office, and behind me was a woman with 2 little girls. She was a Nigerian woman. And so I could tell she wanted to talk to me, and she said, so I said, hello, how are you? She said, I was watching the booty. My people, my women would pay lots of money to have an ass like that. So I told her to go see Dr. Andrew Jimerson. She said, well, he wants $10,000. I said, baby, if you're going to have the surgery done, you need to pay the money, because this is a choice. You don't want to go cheap. Don't go to Mexico or some place where you come back and your shit is raggedy. Pay the 10 grand. She said, it's gorgeous. So something that I had
in Dominican Republic, that's where they go now for the cheaper one.
Something that I had been embarrassed about. I didn't realize that even African women, your ass is magnificent. Because see, even though the doctors have told me that I have something going on in my joints, and but look, a big girl can't walk like she's in pain. You dig? I have to swing that thing, lang. I have to. Shay, you know what I'm talking about? We have to slang that thing. Okay?
You crazy.
I am. I really am.
This is a Saturday night, y'all. Everybody got a refill? What y'all doing?
Get your drink.
Y'all quiet. I see this chat scrolling slow.
It's going slow because we've had 140 anyway. All I'm saying is that she said it's beautiful, and my women would pay a lot of money to have an ass like that. I'm thinking y'all are the originators. You're African women. Y'all have this
in spades.
It is in your thing,
I just think that we gotta stop letting media. We gotta stop letting media dictate what beauty is in our bodies and how we feel about it, because you shouldn't have to go and put something foreign into your body to feel beautiful. That's right. Injustice.
That's what the Venus Revolution is about. That we have to thick women, beautiful Black women, who have naturally been endowed with this lusciousness.
See, I will say this, and we're at 2 hours and some, so we can probably end with this.
Yeah, we can probably end with it because we're getting ready to go.
I don't think anybody, because the reason I don't care for the word ugly is because just because this person's not pretty to you does not make them ugly. They're just not pretty to you. You just like something else. That's all.
That's all.
Everybody, if they had income to just literally throw in the fireplace, would get something done. Now, what I want is to get rid of all this drives me insane. And I get people all the time say, "Oh, I like your beard." Well, you can have this bitch because I don't like it. It grows back and it itch, and I feel like I got fleas because it itch. It's like,
your hair grows back really quickly.
I hate it, but I have to let it grow this long in order to cut it, because if I cut it beforehand, then I get bumps everywhere. But everybody would get a little cut and snip or some electrolysis. That's all I need. I don't care about nothing else because the rest of it is for me anyway. So it's like, it's.
I ain't gonna lie. When I get the chance, I'm gonna put the girls back up where they belong. I breastfeed children, so I would like my breasts to not be like jelly rolls and roll themselves up at night.
Right. Me too, Shay, because I'm losing a lot of weight.
I know that stuff is everywhere.
And I'm gonna get
you're gonna see, but I don't have to put the headlights pointing out like those bots, the film bots.
Yeah. So there was so much to cover. I took a bunch of notes, and I ran across a story where Texas high schools are holding Chivalry Day, where the rules that applied to women back in the day, and I guess British days, are pulled up to modern day. Now, this is in a Texas high school.
I think what
I'm thinking the people are drinking dirty water in Texas because a woman shouldn't criticize a man. She shouldn't whine, and she shouldn't initiate conversation. She should totally submit to the man as they did in medieval times. So they're teaching this in a Texas high school.
The program, the little program they was doing, it's been canceled, first of all. But I think what they were trying to do, which if I had a daughter, we would not be submitting to this exercise whatsoever. But what I think they were trying to do as in Chivalry Day, they said that a boy was supposed to go up to a girl and ask her any reasonable request, and she was supposed to do it without question.
Okay.
Now, I think what this was supposed to do is to teach you more about being a honorable man. Like, you would not go up to her and ask her to do nothing stupid. So this is like you go up to her and say, "Hey, can you hold my flower?" or whatever the fuck. I don't know. it's like it was supposed to be a chance for him to be a man and not some snotty-nosed little boy. So she's going to do whatever it is you ask her to do. So what are you going to ask her to do? Are you going to be an honorable person and ask her to do something nice, or are you going to be a horrible person and ask her to do something stupid? but I still.
Okay, well,
I
I'm glad that they canceled that because from what I read, it was really motherfucking stupid.
It still is. Teach them how to be a man in different ways. It should not involve a woman at all. You can be a man without having a woman around to submit to your needs.
Can we talk about Harry and Meghan? I'm looking for my Harry because I have had dreams where I have interacted with him.
Yeah.
Where's my Harry?
He over there in LA, ain't he?
Huh?
In LA, ain't he?
He's in LA. Let's look at on Harry and Meghan because the people they're saying please because Prince Philip, who's 99 years old and on his deathbed, they're saying please hold off on the Oprah Winfrey interview. Now I like Harry. I have always liked Harry. I liked Harry because he looked like he was many years ago because he looked like he was a whole lot of fun. And
so they say that his grandfather, who's sick in the hospital, said don't do the interview.
This was some of the British tabloids said to please hold off on your interview with Oprah. You know, I like Harry. I love him. I saw him on a video with James Corden where he talked about his wife, Meghan, because the British tabloids are painting him as if Meghan somehow stole him and took him away. He's a brainless wonder. There was a woman who responded to a comment I made on the video that a transsexual lady, somebody who's a trans lady, who was reviewing Meghan's sister's book about Princess Pushy. So this black woman said to me, I am embarrassed that there are black women like you live on the planet because I commented that if I had a family like Meghan's, I wouldn't tell them motherfucking asses jack about what was going on. They were not nice to her. And somewhere between what they're saying, Meghan's decision to decide to not be involved with them, somewhere there lies the truth. And I said, you are one of the black women. I commented to her that you're one of the black women who somehow won't stand with another. You prefer through the British tabloids to come down on a black woman. I stand with a black woman. I'm going to stand with them. You are a black woman who probably lives in Britain and somehow wants to think the worst of this woman. You're an embarrassment.
It's racism. It's racism.
It is. You're an embarrassment to black women.
Pure and simple. Racism. And that's all it is. And I don't, if anybody sees it anything other than just racism, I don't care. Ain't nobody coming out saying what's the chick's name? What's her name? Kate. They're not talking about Kate when she sent back the tea and the coffee when water not cold enough. Like she be ordering, they're not saying nothing about that. This is an attack on her blackness, and that's all it is. And so Harry is sticking by his wife as he should have. They don't understand that when your son finds, your son is your son till he finds a wife. Your daughter is your daughter for life.
And when he was with James Corden, James asked him about that. He said, we never step we step down. I will always be in public service. But I was concerned about my wife and my child. And so I did what was best.
Look like a monkey.
Yeah, I want Harry. I want my Harry. I want
that little boy white. You could pass off white today.
You would stand up for me as his woman, baby. I don't know about remote viewing or any of that. but I've had dreams where I was actually with Harry on the grounds of the palace, where he greeted me and was glad to see my ass.
They definitely ain't gonna let your black ass in there. That's for sure.
No, but I'm just saying, in my dream, and I don't know anything about it, I've had sexual trysts with Brad Pitt and Jennifer Aniston. I mean, I've had some wild ass dreams. All I'm saying is,
did you walk in there? I'll be there for you.
See, the reason
he loves his wife
is because he does not
his wife.
Like
he loves his son.
Yes.
And the British people who were so angry that he married a black woman.
He said,
I'm taking my family up out of this.
Not them. I don't know him. Like we went to school back in '78 together or nothing, but I think that he is just not like them, period.
Period.
He is a person who does not want to be above people. He likes to be in the midst of people. He likes people, period. So that's already disqualifying you from being a royal. But he's just not that type, I don't think. I don't think that he fits that family. Now, in his heart, he's saying he is not going to step out of the family because they're still his family. But I think that is his good heart saying, I'm not going to abandon them. I just don't want this.
I don't want this.
Here's my advice to Harry. You don't take it, though, because this is very bad advice. This is not coming from a spiritual place. Tell your mama or your grandmama, your brother and his wife, fuck all three of y'all. I'm your suspicion life. And I got to go live my life because y'all ain't did nothing for me except turn people against me. What he did was go get married. Why is it a controversial thing? He didn't marry a goat, he married a black woman. And now all of a sudden, the world came down.
But he was ready to leave them in the beginning. He said in the beginning that if y'all don't accept her as my chosen one, as my wife, I will leave and be with her in the States.
What is he, like 84th in line anyway? Just
he's like 6th or something. William's children are the next in line.
Like, so I'm older than these bitches and they gonna be king before me. No. I'm gonna be king of LA.
He's not trying to be king.
Meanwhile, he gets to hang out with Michelle Obama and Oprah, so
right, and he loves it. And when I watched this video with him, James Corden took him on one of the tour buses where it was open, and they went up to the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air's house and knocked on the door. He said, I think you should buy. James Corden said, I think you should buy this property. How cool is it that we're at the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air's house and you're a real prince? And he knocked on the people's door and they opened it and saw Prince Harry standing there. He said, I have to go pee. May I use your restroom? So he went in and pissed. He went to the bathroom. It was so funny.
Were they white people?
Huh?
Were they white people? Because I know black people, you can't show up unannounced.
They were white people. They were white, probably Jewish or something. They bought this estate. They were not black people because you can't show up on our shit.
He could.
He could. But what I loved about him is that he defended. He said it was not easy. This is my wife and my child, and they're expecting a new baby. I had to get her out of there because for all we don't know how much she cried. She had a family, a white family. Her sister, who is making money on books that she writes about her, who's earning money, a brother, a half brother, or who was trying to tell Harry not to marry her. I mean, it was real fucked up. Real fucked up. People don't understand that Dorian her mother, who has never spoken, left that man for a reason. Well, where were her black relatives? Why weren't they at the wedding?
You think they're gonna have like Uncle Coonbug and them show up?
You know what I'm saying? I have relatives in my family that if something grand was going on, they black asses couldn't come to my shit either.
You know it. You got the uncles that's gonna be drunk. Then before you know it, everybody gonna no.
Every black person supposed to love
people coming up out of the woodwork to claim to be relatives and shit. I don't want them there.
No.
Well, where are her relatives, and why was her mother the only?
And where's her relatives when people are writing stories about her in the paper to say that's not who we know? That's the same people you want at my wedding. Fuck you.
But we don't know exactly what her mom's relationship to her people are, if they have one. We don't know what them people be doing. Actually,
we don't know. But there was assumptions made.
Yes.
I don't even.
Let's check in on Harry and Meghan. I want my Harry. I want a man who's going to stand up and defend my black ass, who's going to love me and stand up and say, I love you so much that I'm taking you out of danger. I'm taking your fat ass out of all of the negativity, all of that. I want a Harry. Damn, I had a dream about him last night. He was protecting my fat ass. How are they doing? I really wish people would leave them alone. That's my dream, that they would just leave. Don't be mad because he didn't get, because you know the British blood is weak. They have porphyria.
They still are living in a world of extremes, which is not surprising because of who they are. So you kind of have to live in a life of extremes because you're not the mailman. Everybody sees the mailman, but yet the mailman's not famous. This is a former prince. Well, what is he, the Duke of Duchess or Duchess of Dukes?
He's the Duke of Sussex.
So they live in a world of extremes because of who he is. I mean, that's, like I said, that's understandable. The good thing is, between the two of them, there is still a whole lot of connection. Not just love, not just romance, not just I like you on every full moon. There is a connection. There is a deeper thing to this. This is almost natural, if that's the word I just heard. It's like not soulmates either, but that could be too. But it's kind of like you get the rocking chair, gray hair, holding hands type thing. Like,
and he said that
okay if people will let them be okay. But they do have a good future though, because they hunger for things going forward. They have a lot of projects they probably want to do. I think personally, this was something because I did a reading on them a long time ago. I think he, even though she's the actress, he should try to get into movies too. Or something of that nature. Maybe if he likes documentaries or something, it doesn't have to be on people. You can do documentaries on whale and fish. But I think he should be in some sort of limelight, camera, video, something. So there you go.
Well, I'm excited about their interview with Oprah. Even though they're saying that since Prince Philip may be on his last days, hell, he's 95 years old. Well, 99.
Everybody didn't make it that far, so just be glad about it and move on.
He got money, so they're gonna make a heroic effort.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what are you getting?
More healthcare into him than a small country right now.
Right.
I feel like they're on a new adventure. Like this is something new to them. You know, it's they're doing something new, and they're trying to find some balance right now with this whole situation. I feel like they are shocked a little bit by, you know, what's being said, that they're saying that the Queen said this, right? Mm-hmm. And what's going to come up, like it's bothering them a little bit. Like this latest round, just this latest round. in the end, like again, this is the same card that I got the last time that I was doing the reading. That energy is starting to phase its way out, and I think that this was the Oprah Winfrey interview. That's what I feel like now, as it's coming closer and moving by. Like, because before it was in the fifth position, you know what I mean, and now it's in the 10th position. So I feel like that energy is cycling its way out. But I think they are a little saddened by the official stance the palace is taking, like, you know, with these, oh, your grandfather is in here and you're just out here doing this, but that's not what it is. That's not what it is. It's also they're still trying to manage them through guilt now.
Right.
Oh, Lord Jesus.
And the British tabloids, I have seen some of the things they've said. They are brutal. They're acting as if Harry is a brainless wonder, that he doesn't have a brain in his head, that Meghan put the Mugambo on him, and he just lost his motherfucking mind.
She done buried his drawers in the yard, y'all.
Yeah, exactly.
And maybe she did, but I guarantee you he like it.
He do.
Yeah,
He like
whatever it is, he loves her. He loves her enough to defend her. And for that, I say, yeah, get down. Get down. I wanted to talk about Ron Johnson only because I know that Ron Johnson, and I see him just before we check out. Ron Johnson is on the DL. You look at his mouth. He has Mrs.
Jason. I said you can. I do have to go though.
We're getting ready to check out Johnny.
Okay. Well, then
Ron Johnson is a man that I know is on the DL. He has a weird relationship with his wife, and he's missing his OMI, his oral meat injections, on a regular basis for entertainment purposes only.
I'm sure that is entertaining for you.
I do. Look at his mouth. Just look at his mouth and his eyes. You know, he's watering. His mouth is watering, but we won't go into him. I really want to thank Shay for blissful divination. Please, mods, put her link into the link so that we can show her some love. She's a whole lot of fun. There was a bunch of topics we didn't really cover because I took copious notes. I want to thank Johnny from Tarot's.
Yeah, we would have got it if you didn't go on the tangent about all your voluptuousness all the time.
All my voluptuous. Look, darling, I am not ashamed.
You better not be.
Right.
I'm not ashamed anymore. I spend too much time in shame about being a voluptuous, functioning voluptuary, lover of life. And before we go, can you both just leave us with a word of encouragement as we go to the next week? Now, I know that Johnny and Adrian did the horoscopes last night. And I can do an oracle because I'm better at that. For the week ahead.
I got wisdom. All wisdom is not, there are animals that I was watching this documentary a long time ago. A gazelle gave birth right there in the middle of the African plain. It was being stalked by a cheetah, so the gazelle ran off. The mother gazelle ran off. The baby gazelle, being all of 6 years old, went down into the grass, ears went down, and it hunkered down and it stayed. It did not move. It was born with the instinct of survival. Go within for this in particular wisdom. There is some wisdom that is already within you. Trust yourself going forward in this next week. Everything you need is not always outside of you. Sometimes it's already in here.
It's always in us, isn't it, Johnny? What do you get, Shay?
I got giggle factor. You guys don't take life so seriously this week. Like, don't. I mean, allow some laughter. Lighten up this week, okay? It's not all that serse. Okay, it's not that serse. Watch some comedy. This is what I do when I feel like I'm in a funk. I'll watch some comedy, like Eddie Murphy or some of them, and be like, "Try not to laugh," right? And so we have these things where you try not to laugh, and we still laughing at this dumb stuff. But that's what this week is your thing. So go ahead and don't take things so heavily. Laugh as much as you can, and that's always a good medicine.
And on the oracle card, I have focus. It's time for some self-care. It's time for us to just really, if you're feeling as if you don't want to talk, you don't want to spend time dealing with anyone else's bullshit, it's really time for you to focus on your own stuff. And don't feel guilty about it. Just do it. If you spend so much time focusing on other people's things that you forget that you might need some nurturing, you might need to look in, check on yourself. Don't feel badly. Don't feel as if it's being selfish because you just kind of put other people's stuff to the side. Focus on what your life needs, what you need to be whole. This is called the waxing moon, the waxing gibbous moon. We see this, the moon is kind of golden. We see that, I don't know about you, but whenever the full moons come in, I can't sleep. I get really restless. We're changing the seasons now, so that during the spring, when spring has run, the grass is red, I get really restless and I just want to get out and do things. Don't forget to focus on your dreams. Don't forget to focus on the things that matter to you. Don't forget to pull it in and deal with your own healing. You can't help anybody else if you're just fucking drained. Focus on yourself this week. I want to thank everybody who came on. I'm so delighted that Shay at the last minute came in. And I love you, Shay. I love your, I want to get more into pop stuff. I had so many notes today that I guess I've just kind of like gone on and on and on and on.
Well, I thank you guys for inviting me into your house, having me come over. I appreciate it. And thanks, guys, for following me and doing all the things.
Yeah, y'all go on to Blissful Divination and show us some love. We had a few in here. They've dropped off because Adrian always accuses me of doing the Southern goodbye. Go on and show Shay some love. She's a beautiful spirit. I thank everyone who could have been anywhere else, but you decided to spend time with us. So we're going to say good night. Have a get Johnny, who's you and the trio tomorrow night is on Becca's channel, Becca at House of Lenormand.
Yes.
So watch Johnny and Jen Lynn on A House of Lenormand. It's always fun. They always get a little bit petty. It's fun. I mean, look, we were beat down in 2020. We're still being beat down in 2021. So go somewhere and have some fun. Shit, laugh. For real. Because it ain't that goddamn serious.
Seriously.
So we're going to say good night. Thank you for joining us. And have a sweet slumber.
Bon nuit.
Peace.